Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you my review plus on-feet video of the brand new Nike Mercurial Superfly 5 in the pitch dark pack colorway. Now included with the shoes is a black and pink string bag that you can see here on the table in front of me, and of course you get the shoes themselves, which I have right here. Now this is the new pitch dark colorway of the Mercurial Superfly 5, and in today's video we're going to be going over all the details on the colorway itself, taking a closer look, talking tech specs, performance, taking a look at the weight of the shoe, as well as how these things fit and feel on feet. So if you are interested in learning more about the pitch dark colorway of the Superfly 5, please stick around and watch the entire video. If you are interested in a pair of these for yourself, you can check out the review page on my website. That'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video, and on that page you will find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $300 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. To start things off, let's take a closer look at the colorway. Now I know a lot of people weren't happy with the launch colorway for the new Mercurial line, and of course the Superfly 5. With this particular colorway, they've definitely kept things a lot more simple. If you didn't care for that kind of stripe design that we saw on the launch color, which I personally wasn't too crazy about, that is 100% gone on this pitch dark colorway. I'm not sure if that's something that is going to be consistent with future colorways as well, or if the first one's going to be the only one with the stripes. We don't really have any details on that, but this definitely does look a lot more simple, and I think it's a good looking shoe in general. You can really never go wrong with mostly black, which is kind of what they've done here. So you have a solid black Nike skin covering on top of a solid black fly knit or exposed fly knit in the laces, the top of the foot, as well as the collar. And then you have some bright pink accents. The specific color is Pink Blast from Nike, and basically it's just a neon pink color outlining the Nike swoosh. You have it here in the Mercurial branding on the lateral side of the heel, and then of course the ACC branding and the outline of the Nike swoosh on the medial side also has the pink accent. It does have a pink insole, which we'll take a closer look at in a second, and then you have a pink swoosh on the bottom with everything else being black and translucent studs. So really good looking shoe. As far as the inside of the Nike swoosh is concerned, it does look a little bit sparkly. Hopefully that comes through on camera. It isn't actually glitter or anything like that, it's just reflective. So when it does have a light flashed on it, when you take a picture with a camera flash, it does have that reflective look to it. If you're playing in kind of a stadium lighting situation, you're going to see the reflective effect as well, and you have that for the inside of the swoosh on the lateral and medial side of the shoe. So all in all, very, very straightforward colorway, and a really good looking colorway as well. So let me know what you guys think of these down below in the comment section. Do you love them? Do you hate them? Why or why not? And with that being said, let's move on to the tech specs so we can learn a little bit more about the overall performance. As far as performance is concerned, the Superfly 5 is one of the most technologically advanced and one of the most impressive shoes on the market. It really is something like we've never seen before, and in my opinion, a true improvement over the previous Superfly 4, which was impressive in itself. Now in today's video, we are going to go over all the tech specs that you should know in regards to the Superfly 5, but if you want as many details as possible, there will be a little pop-up on screen, so you can go ahead and check out my playtest video if you haven't seen that already. Now, with this particular shoe, the upper is made from Flyknit. Flyknit is a knitted material from Nike. It uses various different forms of yarns to create a one-piece kind of sock-like enclosure for your foot. And in comparison to the Superfly 4, they've changed quite a bit. This is a lot more Flyknit and a lot less internal structure. So it really does kind of take advantage of the Flyknit material and gives you that true kind of connected sock-like fit and feel on your foot. Now the material itself does have their new speed rib texturing to it, which is what you see in the form of these lines running horizontally across the entire upper. Now this speed rib texturing has variance in thickness from 1 millimeter to 2.5 millimeters. So that's what you have. The lower spots are 1 millimeter thick, the higher spots are 2.5 millimeters thick, and this creates, like I said, kind of a rib texturing on the surface of the upper. It's supposed to result in a better touch, or at least that's how Nike markets it. Is it something that's really going to improve your touch? Not necessarily. It's not even something that I think is all that noticeable when you're wearing the shoe, but it does add some thickness to the upper that I don't necessarily think is a bad thing. Overall, it's still a Mercurial. It's still part of the Superfly line, so it does have a very thin feel in general. So if you're looking for a barefoot touch, that's what this has on offer, but there is some kind of softness and some kind of a cushioned effect to the upper just because it does have a little bit of extra thickness to it. But again, they added that thickness not only to increase the stability of the upper, which stability is definitely an improvement over the previous model. It has less structure on the inside just because there's more Flyknit in the upper to act as the actual structure for the entire thing, if that makes any sense. So really, really nice construction here. It's different from what we've seen previously from the Superfly line, but it definitely does work really, really well here in the form of the Superfly 5. So thin, but still a little bit of padded, of a padded feel to it. You do have a Nike skin covering to the upper, which basically is there as a protective layer for the actual Flyknit, and it also doesn't leave the touch on the ball being completely slick. As far as the finish is concerned to the actual Nike skin, it is a little bit different than what we got on the launch colorway, and this does have more of a matte finish as opposed to the kind of clear, slightly shiny finish that you got on the initial colorway. The texturing to the touch is ever so slightly different. This almost has a slightly gritty sensation to it, but again, it's a very, very small difference, and based on what I've tried, it doesn't provide any noticeable difference in terms of touch or performance on the ball. So just keep that in mind for those of you guys that might be wondering whether or not the difference in texturing has any impact, because it really doesn't. It's a very, very small difference. ACC all conditions control also is kind of the wet control element you're going to get on all the top end models from Nike. Not a make or break feature, but something that they do include. Also, as a structure feature that really doesn't take away from the flexibility of the upper, you do have flywire cables that run from the base of the sole into the lacing system that's actually hidden within the pattern here that really do a good job of keeping your foot locked in place on the inside of the shoe when you pull those laces tight. So you maintain that soft, flexible, kind of sock-like sensation, but the lateral stability from this shoe is really, really good given how soft the upper actually is. Now, the non-structured area of Flyknit runs across the top of the foot where the laces are positioned, as well as the collar. This is stretchy, doesn't really have any structure to it at all. A couple misconceptions with the collar and the mid-cut aspect of Nike shoes in general. A lot of people think this is going to be some kind of performance benefit. There really is no performance benefit to mid-cut shoes at all. Really all this is an extension piece. So it wraps your ankle, it provides a slightly different fit in the heel area, and obviously a different look. But that's about it. Once you get used to it, it's not, like I said, something that necessarily is going to improve performance in any way. There's no ankle support. There really isn't any protection from this either. It's basically just an extension piece. This shoe very easily could have been a low-cut shoe. That's the case for all of the mid-cut models from Nike, but they're choosing to make it mid-cut because that is something that people are really excited about at the moment. Although this is a little bit different, especially in the way it fits in the heel in comparison to pretty much every other mid-cut model from Nike up until this point. So stay tuned for more info on that during the on-feet portion of the video. You do have an internal plastic heel counter. The inside heel liner is a smooth synthetic leather with a decent amount of padding considering how low profile the shoe is in general. The insole is fully removable. I'll give you guys a quick look at that. It features a mesh liner on top and is made from a single layer of this ortholite foam that actually does have some decent thickness to it. It's a pretty good insole overall. And then you move on to the Soleplate, which is probably, aside from the way the Superfly 5 looks, another thing that a lot of people like to complain about coming from the previous model. And it's the first Superfly ever to not have a carbon fiber Soleplate. Instead, they went with their new Nike Plate technology. That's what they call the Soleplate. Very original name. But what's special about this is it's lighter than what we've ever seen before on the Superfly series or the Mercurial series in general. It's supposed to be 40% lighter than the previous generation carbon fiber Soleplate on the Superfly 4. And the way that they were able to do that is through a special vacuum forming process that allows them to make the Soleplate entirely out of one single layer of material, as opposed to having multiple layers of material like you'd have in the traditional Soleplate construction. Now, because of this, like I said, the Soleplate is lighter, and also it gives you a very connected feel. You sit directly on top of the Soleplate, which increases stability in my opinion, and it also allows them to add shape to the bottom of the shoe. So instead of the Soleplate being completely flat where your foot just sits on top, kind of like it would on this desk, imagine if there was actually a little bit of a mold of my hand within the table that my hand could sit into. That's kind of what's happening with your foot inside of this shoe. Because it is ever so slightly sunken in to the surface of that sole plate, or for example, the surface of this desk, my hand wouldn't be able to move around on the surface. It would have kind of a special spot to rest in. That's kind of what's happening with the anatomical shaping on this sole plate. It's a very, very minor thing. You do notice it for the first time when you put them on, but basically your foot sits ever so slightly inside of the sole plate, and then the sides kind of come up. So your foot's being cupped on the inside of the shoe, and it doesn't allow it to slide from side to side, which gives you, like I said, a very connected sensation to the shoe, and also increases responsiveness because your foot can't slide on top of a flat surface because the surface isn't flat. That's kind of the best way to describe it. Again, it's something that feels a little bit strange for maybe the first 10-15 minutes. You'll notice it, but after that, it's something that goes away. It's not as extreme as I think a lot of people expect it to be, but it definitely is a noticeable feature when it comes to actually offering some kind of a performance benefit. Nike's introduced that split toe design. This shoe technically has that as well, and they've had that on several shoes, but that's one of those features that, yeah, it sounds really good, but it's not something that's actually noticeable. The anatomical shaping of this sole plate is something that is very, very noticeable, and perhaps my personal favorite feature of the new Mercurial models in general, the new high-end ones, be it the Superfly 5 or the Vapor 11. The sole plate itself, it does have decent flexibility to it as well, no issues there. And as far as the stud pattern is concerned, this is the firm ground variation. It's a new layout for Nike and the Mercurial line, as we've seen many times before. And just like with every other new layout from Nike, this improves upon all previous ones. This is the most aggressive firm ground stud pattern, not only in the Mercurial line, but period. If you're looking for just outright multi-directional grip when pushing off in any direction, nothing grips harder than what you get from this new Mercurial line. All of them are chevron-shaped studs. They're all the same length. They're all the same angle in the forefoot, and then as well in the heel, they kind of change it up a little bit. But it just works extremely well, super effective. If you like to be up on your toes and, like I said, have as much traction as possible, they've really put as many studs as possible as close to the front of the shoe as they could. It seems like it would kind of get in the way, but honestly, it's not something you notice at all in terms of actually getting in the way. It's just very, very effective when it comes to just giving as much bite as possible when pushing off and digging into the ground. So again, if you're looking for the most aggressive traction possible on any soccer cleat right now from a firm ground stud pattern to use on natural grass, the Mercurial line is definitely the way to go. So that's pretty much it as far as tech specs and performance features. A lot going on with the Superfly 5, but a very, very impressive shoe in terms of what it has achieved from a technical standpoint. If you're looking for kind of the latest and greatest as far as soccer cleat tech is concerned, the Superfly 5 should be at the top of your list. When it comes to weight, the Superfly 5 is nice and light, as you would expect. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time using this scale. Keep in mind that this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw them on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at a very lightweight 6.6 ounces, the equivalent of 187 grams. So they are lighter than the previous generation Superfly 4 by almost half an ounce. It's not a significant amount of weight, but the way the shoe fits and feels on your foot is definitely different in comparison to the previous model. And because of the improved fit, the more natural upper, and the shape to the bottom of that sole plate giving you that very connected feel to the shoe, your foot doesn't slide around on the inside. And given that the shoe is already as light as it is, when you combine that with the really high quality fit, it just makes the shoe feel almost weightless on your feet. So again, if you're looking for that super lightweight sensation, whether you go for the Superfly 5 or the Mercurial Vapor 11, you're definitely going to get that. All right, so here is a look at the Superfly 5s on feet. On my left foot, I have the stock black laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot, I have a pair of pink with black dots premium SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, the website to go to is www.sr4ulaces.com. You find a direct link to that website down below in the description of this video. Now, in terms of how these things fit and feel on feet, the Superfly 5 fits absolutely fantastic. It's a really tight fit, as you would expect from any Mercurial model, but given that it does have this Flyknit upper, it feels surprisingly flexible, and it does have that kind of sock-like sensation on your foot. The Flywire cables really do their job to help lock your foot in place when you pull the laces tight, And that, along with the added security of that anatomically shaped sole plate, is something that you'll immediately notice when you first put these on your feet. And once you get used to it, again, the way the shoe fits and feels on your foot is amazing. As far as the fit in the heel is concerned, given that this is a mid-cut model from Nike, in comparison to previous mid-cut models, be it the Obra, the Superfly 4, or the Hypervenom Phantom 2, they did change up the cut in the heel area on the inside, so it doesn't necessarily dig into the Achilles area, kind of what you'll get from the other mid-cut models. It still takes some getting used to. You still need to break them in slowly as you would with previous mid-cut models, and you will be able to achieve a comfortable fit. But it's just really important that you don't wear them straight into a game or straight into a free kick session. You just kind of take your time with them and break them in a couple kind of training sessions at a time. So take your time with them and you shouldn't have any issues with discomfort and blistering. As far as width in general, the fit of the shoe is concerned, like I said, it is a tighter fitting shoe. So as with previous Mercurial models, if you have wide feet, probably not the best option for you, but if you've worn Mercurials in the past and you just want a tighter fitting shoe in general, you're unlikely to have any issues with these. Stretching is something you're not going to get too much out of though with this particular shoe. For the most part, the way they fit out of the box is the way they're going to fit for their entire lifespan. And as far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So if you are looking to order a pair of these for yourself, I would strongly recommend going true to size in order to achieve the best possible fit. Alright guys, that is it for my review of the Pitch Dark Nike Mercurial Superfly 5. If you guys are interested in more info or a pair for yourself, you can check out the review page on my website, which will be the first link down below in the description. And on that page, you will find buy it now links with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these guys up below their normal $300 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding this particular shoe, leave them down below in the comments, and I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information linked in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.